The Range Rover is a machine built to overcome any obstacle, to conquer the wild, to be unstoppable. From the scorching dunes of the Sahara to the icy peaks of the Himalayas, these vehicles are engineered for a singular purpose: resilience. To push through, to endure, to always keep moving. So how did this entire globe-spanning apocalypse-proof company get brought to its knees for a solid month? It wasn't an army. It wasn't a meteor. It was the modern-day equivalent of poisoning the town well. Welcome to Critical Path, where we explore stories and innovations about our global supply chain that connect our world to your everyday life. Today we're diving into the digital depths of the Jaguar Land Rover hack of late August 2025, an incident that wasn't just a corporate headache, but a national economic crisis, proving that sometimes the greatest strength can hide the most profound vulnerability. Jaguar Land Rover. The very name evokes images of luxury, ruggedness, and British engineering prowess. This isn't some fly-by-night operation. This is a multi-billion-dollar behemoth, with factories humming across the UK, Slovakia, India, and China. They produce iconic vehicles like the Range Rover, the Defender, the Discovery, machines that are designed to laugh in the face of adversity. Their supply chain is a masterpiece of modern logistics, a ballet of parts flowing from hundreds of suppliers across dozens of countries, all synchronizing to create tens of thousands of vehicles every single month. It's an almost unbelievably complex, just-in-time system built to maximize efficiency and minimize waste. Everything connected, everything optimized, everything running like a Swiss watch, until it suddenly, spectacularly, didn't. On August 31, 2025, the digital world delivered a gut punch that would make even the most hardened Land Rover owner gasp. A shadowy group calling themselves Scattered Lapsus Hunters launched a cyberattack that didn't just target JLR's fancy new infotainment systems or its online sales portal. No, these digital saboteurs went straight for the jugular, Jaguar Land Rover's core internal IT infrastructure. This wasn't a precision strike, this was systemic paralysis. To truly grasp the devastating brilliance of this attack, we need to abandon our high-tech analogies for a moment and journey back to a simpler, more brutal time: medieval warfare. Forget the thundering charges of knights, or the dramatic siege engines hurling massive rocks. Those were often costly, flashy, and inefficient. The truly cunning commanders understood a more insidious tactic, one that could bring the strongest castle, the most defiant city, to its knees, without a single arrow being fired at its walls. They would poison the well. Imagine a towering, impenetrable castle. Its walls are thick, its gates unyielding, its garrison well-armed and ready for battle. From the outside, it looks invincible. The lord of the castle surveys his domain with pride, scoffing at the besieging army. "Let them try to break us," he bellows. "Our walls are strong, our larder is full, and our well runs deep." He's confident, cocky even. He believes his strength lies in his fortifications, in his ability to withstand a direct assault. But the besiegers aren't interested in a direct assault. They've sent a small, stealthy team. Under the cover of darkness, these saboteurs creep around the perimeter, not towards the imposing main gate, but to a hidden aqueduct, a single, vulnerable channel that feeds the castle's only source of fresh water. With grim efficiency, they contaminate it. They divert the flow. Or worse, they introduce something foul and sickening into its pristine waters. The next morning, the castle's residents wake up. Life inside the walls continues, seemingly normal. But soon, a subtle unease begins to spread. People feel unwell. The water tastes strange. Panic begins to bubble. The Lord, realizing his fatal error, can scream and rage all he wants, but his mighty walls are useless. His strong soldiers are now weakened by illness, their morale shattered. The castle's strength was an illusion, dependent entirely on that one, single, unprotected lifeline. Without clean water, the city, no matter how grand, is doomed. It's not about breaking down the defenses, it's about making life inside them impossible. And that, my friends, is precisely what happened to Jaguar Land Rover in August 2025. The hackers didn't attack JLR's walls, they went straight for the water. The Scattered Lapsus Hunters didn't try to smash through firewalls to steal blueprints for the next Range Rover. Instead, they compromised JLR's central nervous system, their core internal IT infrastructure. Think of a modern corporation like a human body. The factories, with their roaring assembly lines and powerful robots, are the muscles. The suppliers, feeding parts into the system from all corners of the globe, are the digestive system, bringing in vital nutrients. The dealers and showrooms are the circulatory system, distributing the finished product. But what connects it all? What tells the muscles when to move, the digestive system what to absorb, and the circulatory system where to flow. That's the brain and nervous system, the IT network. It's the digital well that every single part of the organization drinks from. It manages everything: production schedules, parts ordering, quality control, logistics, even the systems for registering new vehicles. Without it, the body is just a collection of inert, disconnected parts. The scattered lapsus hunters poisoned that digital well. Once inside, they could have tried to extort a ransom, threatening to release sensitive data, but what they did was arguably far more devastating. They forced JLR to effectively turn itself off. The company made the agonizing decision to proactively shut down everything globally. Imagine that meeting. Sir, the best way to prevent the poison from spreading is to simply stop breathing. Production lines in the UK, Slovakia, India and China went silent. Retail operations froze. The systems for communicating with suppliers, for ordering parts, for shipping finished vehicles, all dark. It wasn't a matter of fixing a broken machine. It was a matter of isolating the infection before it consumed the entire organism. For nearly a month, one of the world's most advanced car manufacturers was, to all intents and purposes, switched off. It was a billion-dollar company brought to a standstill not by a strike, not by a natural disaster, but by an invisible enemy, a few lines of malicious code, infiltrating their central nervous system. The sheer, colossal irony of it all. A company that makes vehicles designed to ford rivers and climb mountains, utterly immobilized by something they couldn't even drive over. This is where the comedy of the catastrophe truly begins. Imagine a multi-billion-dollar global corporation brought down by what basically amounts to a really bad case of digital indigestion. You've got thousands of highly skilled engineers, designers, factory workers and sales staff, all ready to do their jobs, all ready to build cars, all ready to sell cars. But the system that tells them how to do it, when to do it, and what to do, has simply gone on an unscheduled extended vacation. Think about the executive meetings. The assembly line robots won't move, someone might scream, to which a weary IT manager might sigh. Sir, have you tried turning the entire multi-billion-dollar global corporation off and on again? Except, off lasted for a month, and on was a painstakingly slow, step-by-step process of decontamination and system rebuild. The financial bleeding was catastrophic. Estimates soared to over £50 million a week in lost revenue and recovery costs. £50 million! That's enough to buy, a lot of Land Rovers. But the ripple effect, the beautiful destructive ripple effect, was far more profound. This wasn't just JLR's problem, this was Britain's problem. Imagine Dave, who runs Dave's Bolt and Screw Emporium in Coventry. Dave has been supplying bespoke, high-tensile fasteners to JLR for 40 years. His entire business, his livelihood, the jobs of his 15 employees, depend on the regular orders from JLR. Suddenly, JLR's systems are down. Dave can't get new orders. He can't get confirmation for the orders he's already manufactured. He can't even get payment for the last shipment he sent because JLR's accounting systems are in a digital coma. Dave, who makes the unsung heroes of automotive engineering the nuts and bolts that hold these incredible machines together, is now facing bankruptcy because some hackers in an undisclosed location decided to play digital chess with a multinational. Dave's Bolt and Screw Emporium is a casualty in a war he didn't even know was being fought. Reports stated that over 100,000 jobs across the broader UK automotive supply chain were immediately threatened. Small suppliers, who often operate on razor-thin margins and tight cash flows, suddenly found themselves with mountains of bespoke parts and no one to sell them to, no one to pay them. They were forced to lay off staff, to cut shifts, to put their entire operations into suspended animation. It was a brutal, cascading domino effect, where the first domino was a single line of malicious code, and the last was a guy named Dave at Dave's Bolt and Screw Emporium losing his shirt, and his employees losing their jobs. The UK government, recognising the severity of the threat to its industrial base, had to step in with a staggering £1.5 billion loan guarantee to help keep the supply chain afloat. This elevates the story from a mere corporate nuisance to a national economic emergency, all thanks to a poisoned well in the digital realm. It highlights the profound, almost absurd, interconnectedness of our modern economy. We've built these incredibly efficient, incredibly fragile systems, where a single point of failure can unravel an entire tapestry of industry. A small, seemingly insignificant attack on the central IT network brings down not just a company, but an entire ecosystem of businesses and livelihoods. The strength of the largest corporation is fundamentally tied to the health of its weakest, often invisible, digital arteries. So what's the grand takeaway from Jaguar Land Rover's billion-dollar shutdown? From the great digital car heist of 2025, it's a sobering lesson, delivered with a punch of technological irony. In our relentless pursuit of efficiency, in our drive to trim every ounce of fat and every shred of redundancy from our global supply chains, we've created a marvel, a truly global, just-in-time machine capable of producing incredible things at unprecedented speed and scale. But we've also built it on a tightrope. Every connection, every digital handshake, every shared network, while enabling astounding productivity, also represents a potential point of infection, a pathway for the poison to spread. The lesson from the medieval besiegers who cut off the aqueduct, and from the scattered lapsus hunters who brought down JLR, is the same. Your fortress, your company, your nation's economy, is only as strong as its most fundamental and vulnerable lifeline. And in the 21st century, that lifeline is increasingly digital. We're not just securing our physical perimeters, we're protecting our data flows, our network integrity, our digital wells. The future of supply chain resilience isn't just about having multiple suppliers. It's about robust network security, about segmenting your digital wells, about understanding that a single malicious click or an unpatched vulnerability can condemn an entire kingdom to a month of digital darkness. This incident serves as a stark reminder. The next great war won't necessarily be fought with armies, or even with tanks and fighter jets. It might be fought by anonymous figures, sitting hundreds or thousands of miles away, launching invisible attacks on the complex, interconnected supply chains that keep our modern world running. And in those battles, the mightiest machine, the most luxurious vehicle, will be utterly helpless if its digital brain has been poisoned. So what's the most single point of failure you've ever seen, in your job or in life? Where do you think our global systems are most vulnerable to a poisoned well? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments below. And for the sake of global commerce, and to ensure you don't miss our next breakdown of interesting stories and innovations that connect our world to your everyday life, be sure to like and subscribe.